This guy was played. When he was in 10th grade, his crush, named Sarah Lee, was in the same class as him. And him, Sarah Lee, and 2 other people were in a group project together. Well, Sarah tells him, "Hey, Tommy, come here. Hey, what's up? So you're basically the mastermind of our project? Your job is to design the title slide." Okay, nice. Now, Sarah was super smart, but she told this kid that all he had to do was design the title. She told him that first impressions were everything, and that his creative vision would set the project apart, and they were sure to get an A. And he was like, wow, she must actually like me a little bit. So he spent 6 hours. He was choosing fonts, picking out background designs, making it look absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Sarah and the other group members were in a completely different group chat. They were doing the project themselves. Now, to me, I would have loved to just have to do the title. Well, presentation day comes, and they are called up to the front of the classroom. All right, you guys, you may start your slideshow. And he was ready for the entire class to see the beautiful title slide he made. Well, it started, and the title slide went up on the projector. And it wasn't his title slide at all. It was just a white background with the name of the project in black font. Wait, I think that, no, it's fine. All right, everybody. And she presented. They got an A, but that wasn't the thing. This kid was trying to impress his crush, but she didn't care. And she admitted later that she was just trying to mess with him, which is not right. A substitute teacher walks into class. She's taking attendance, butchering every single name. She gets through everything, but then someone's like, miss, you forgot about Denise. Oh, Denise, yeah, she's here. Right there. And the kid points to an empty desk. The substitute's like, I don't see anybody there. But then another student's like, she's just very quiet. But yeah, she's here, see? Okay. The sub then manually put in Denise's name on the sheet and wrote next to it, here. 10 minutes later, the substitute's handing out papers. Someone says, hey, miss, don't forget to give Denise one. And the sub does. Oh, you're right. My bad. Here you go, Denise. Miss, she also needs a pencil. Oh, okay, here, Denise. So now, obviously, no one is sitting at that desk, but this teacher is going along with it? Or maybe she's actually believing that someone is there, but she just can't see them? By the end of class, she's talking to this empty desk like it's a real person. Okay, does everyone understand today's lesson? Denise, how about you? Yeah, she gets it, miss. And on the sub sheet to turn into the teacher, the substitute wrote, Denise was quiet today, but she completed all her work. Overall, class was great. The next day, the real teacher comes back and reads the notes. Class, who the heck is Denise? And everyone burst out laughing. I bet they had that sub thinking she was going crazy. They respected Denise though, huh? Here's what happens when you sell snacks to a rich kid. This guy's running a locker snack business to save up for a computer. Well, one kid ordered a bag of hot Cheetos and a Gatorade. Easy transaction. So he brings it to this kid's locker, and the kid looks at the Cheetos all weird. Yo, man, this bag is way too wrinkled. Okay, I'll go grab a fresh one for you. So he runs back to his locker and grabs a fresh bag. He comes back, and now this kid's saying the Gatorade's wrong. Also, dude, this is the wrong flavor Gatorade. You said blue Gatorade. I did not say blue Gatorade. He said blue Gatorade. Well, while he's standing there, you know what? It's fine. I'll take it. Okay. Well, the kid's standing there waiting to get paid when the rich guy starts showing his friends pictures of the yacht his parents just bought. Hey, Kevin, Deacon, check this out, man. That's a big boat. It's my parents. Hey, can I get the money? Jeez. Impatient, are we? Fine, here. Takes the money. He goes. The next day, the rich kid stops him in the hallway. Hey, yo, dude, those Cheetos were stale yesterday. I want a full refund. The Cheetos weren't stale. They were brand new. But he didn't know what to say, so he just refunded the guy. He says it doesn't matter. He's sure karma will catch up to this kid one day. This kid's a diabolical genius. There was this kid at one school named Theo, and he had a connect at the front office. Bada bing, bada booty. What? Now, his school's lost and found was always stacked. People lose stuff constantly. Phones, AirPods, expensive jackets, you name it. So, come here. Here's how it worked. His friend at the office would text him whenever something good came in. Theo would swing by, take whatever it was, and just walk out with it. Nobody questioned it because he was always hanging around the office anyway. But here's the genius part. His connect at the office, the person that let him know when stuff came in, would let him know when someone came in looking for their stuff. Oh, you lost some AirPods? Yeah, I can't find them anywhere. Okay, one sec. He would then text his friend. His connect would let him know the person's name. Theo would then find them in the hallway. Hey, I hear you're looking for your AirPods. Oh my God, yeah, thanks. I found them. Okay? What? Give me $40 if you want them back. And he would charge these people if they wanted their stuff back. Not the full price, obviously. Now, Theo was pretty savage. People didn't want to mess with him, and they were so desperate to get their stuff back that they paid him. If you go to the principal, I'm gonna beat you up. They paid up every single time. He did that the entire school year. Made over $1,000. The school eventually figured out what he did and this kid was expelled. But by then, he had already made his money and he wasn't gonna give it back. Now, I normally would say, hey, gotta respect the hustle. But this one's a little shady. What do you think? Is it just me, or is banning a student from the bathroom a horrible idea? There was this one student who was basically infamous for wandering the hallways. He would ask to use the bathroom every single day during class. Can I use the bathroom? Again? Okay, fine, but hurry. He would then go and take like 30 minutes. Every time. When I was in school, I knew a few kids like this. Well, anyway, he would be gone for a long time. The teachers would go out and they would find him just wandering the halls, talking to friends through their classroom door, just killing time. It got so bad that the school banned him from taking bathroom breaks during class. And they sent a memo to every single one of his teachers. Anyway, one day, this kid ate fish tacos during lunch, which already, that's a horrible idea. Well, midway through third period, he begins sweating. He raises his hand. Can I go to the bathroom, please? My stomach hurts. Nice try. But no. So he tries to keep it together. 20 minutes later, he's practically doubled over. The teacher still refuses. And then it happens. Right there in the middle of class, in front of everybody. And it's a frickin' mess. Turns out the kid had actual food poisoning. But he wasn't the only kid to get food poisoning. Other kids also had it. But they were allowed to go to the bathroom. He wasn't. The school ended up settling in court with this kid's parents, and they got a good amount of money. Turns out, doesn't matter if the kid was wandering hallways or skipping class, banning them from the bathroom is not okay. But it didn't matter how much money his parents received in the court case. He was still made fun of for the rest of his time at that school. That is messed up. Here's what happens when you ban food delivery at school. One Friday afternoon, the school sends out an email. DoorDash and Uber Eats and all delivery apps are banned. And they did this because they wanted the students to spend money in the cafeteria. Like $7 for a piece of pizza. Well, Monday morning, this kid named Tyler realizes he has a free period right before lunch. And he also has a car. Vroom vroom. So, right before his free period, he tells some people. And he begins taking orders. Okay, I got 5 people for McDonald's, I got 3 people for Wendy's, and I got 7 people for Taco Bell. So during his free period, he would take all the orders and he would go and get all this food. And when he had the people give him money, he always made sure they gave him a bit more than the order actually cost. So he was making profit. By the end of the week, he had done 50 orders. He would get the food during his free period, and during lunch, he would just pass it out. Be discreet. He would put all the food in regular brown paper bags before he brought them to the customers, so the school didn't see the actual fast food bags. Genius. And the cafeteria line began getting smaller and smaller every day, while this kid's orders began getting bigger and bigger. It got to the point where he couldn't accommodate all these people. What do you mean you can't take my order? I've got like 30 people to feed today. The school tries to shut this down, but the kid was allowed to leave during his food period. He was basically just sharing the food with other students. So they couldn't. What they had to do was lower the prices of cafeteria food. And then this kid's business began to dwindle, but it still kept going because outside food was still way better than school food. Gotta respect the hustle. Here's what happens when you mess with the wrong kid. There's this 8th grader named Devin. And he had his locker broken into 4 times in 2 weeks. The first time his lunch money was stolen. Oh, what the heck? The second time his headphones. Yo, that's messed up. The third time his jacket. Dude, who would do this? And the 4th time his water bottle. But I'm so thirsty. Now, everybody knew it was this kid named Brandon. Yo, Brandon had been stealing from lockers since the 6th grade, but nobody could really prove it. And Brandon always stole from Devin during lunch. So, Devin decides to set a trap one day. He takes a small but powerful Bluetooth speaker and connects it to his phone. He then puts the speaker inside of a decoy backpack. and he puts the decoy backpack in his locker right before lunch. And he stuffs that backpack with a bunch of random stuff, like fake money, an old Nintendo Switch that didn't work anymore, and a bunch of other stuff to weigh it down. His goal here was to get Brandon to steal the entire backpack. Once it's all set, he walks away and leaves his locker unlocked. And just like that, Brandon goes in and takes the entire backpack. Now, Devin was watching secretly, so he knew what was going on. And he waited till the middle of the class that was right after lunch. And then he plays an incredibly loud alarm noise on his phone. But remember, that phone was hooked up to a speaker in the backpack that Brandon stole. And it was loud. People down the hall could hear it. Teachers were like, what is that alarm? Brandon freaks out. He takes the backpack, he stumbles out of the classroom, and he throws it down the hall. Everyone's like, yo, what are you doing? What's in the backpack? And then Brandon confesses. Yo, it's not even mine. I stole it from a locker. At this point, tons of students are in the hallway. So was Devin. Yeah, my locker. Brandon was finally caught red frickin' handed, suspended for 10 days. And his reputation, which wasn't that great to begin with, was now forever ruined at that school. Sometimes all you gotta do is set a booby trap. Why do lifeguards care more about a frickin' sandwich than somebody drowning? This guy went to a public pool, and he got yelled at before he was even in the water. He was standing a few feet away from the pool, eating a sandwich, when the lifeguard blew his whistle. Hey, no food near the pool! Go throw it away and wash your hands! Meanwhile, there's a literal diaper floating in the water, but this lifeguard doesn't care. The guy goes away, tosses the sandwich and washes his hands, comes back to the pool, and does a cannonball. Hey! No cannonballs! Too much splash! What? But here's the wildest part. He calls this guy up. Come here. And he starts lecturing him. You know, cannonballs cause a huge splash and waves that disrupt other swimmers. He's going on. But at the same time, there's literally somebody in the pool actively drowning. Hey, no, you listen to me. No, but there's... The lifeguard doesn't even glance over. Somebody's drowning. Shut up. Luckily, somebody else jumped in the water and saved this guy. But the lifeguard did nothing. Later that day, the same guy the lifeguard was yelling at was drinking a water bottle by the pool. And the lifeguard kicked him out because having unsealed water bottles was apparently against the rules. I don't know. That's just crazy. This guy was standing in line at the grocery store. It's a normal day, and right next to him is the priority lane for elderly people and people with disabilities. So there's chairs there. This elderly couple is sitting down waiting to check out. This guy walks up, cuts right in front of him. Excuse me. Hey man, they're already in line. I don't see them standing in line. He's being real smug. And the two elderly people are just sitting there very uncomfortable. Well, this guy shuts up, but he's fuming. So he looks in the guy's cart. It's a full camping setup. He must be going to camping like right now. Sleeping bag, marshmallows, instant noodles, portable stove, bacon, and one single can of butane gas. Well, the guy's on the phone. He's loud, completely distracted. So this guy reaches into his cart and takes the butane gas, puts it in his own cart. The dude pays for his groceries, leaves. The elderly couple finally checks out, and this guy goes home. But he's sitting there, laughing to himself, because somewhere out there a man pulled into a campsite, got unpacked, and was getting ready to make dinner, but couldn't find the gas anywhere, which would cause him to take a very lengthy drive back to the store. That is awesome. What happens when the school bully becomes the hero? I'll tell you. This happened at a middle school in Ohio. There was this one kid named Steven, and he was getting bullied every single day by the same group of seniors. He was being shoved into lockers. His lunch tray was getting knocked over. The usual stuff. I hate my life. Well, here's the thing. There was another bully at school. The biggest bully. This dude named Jake, and everyone was terrified of him. Well, I guess he'd been watching what had been happening to Steven. I just kept seeing it happen every day. One day something snapped. He sees them bullying Steven, so he walks right up and says, "Hey, look at me. You touch him again, you're gonna deal with me, okay?" The bullies immediately stop. Oh, hey, Jake, yeah, no, whatever, man. We're just messing around. No big deal. We'll stop. And just like that, they stopped messing with Steven. But Jake doesn't stop there because Steven was a new kid at school. He didn't want people messing with him for some reason. So Jake starts walking Steven to class every day, sits by him at lunch, basically becomes his bodyguard. You didn't have to do that, man. Yeah, it did. Teachers are freaking out because they don't know what to do. The biggest bully in school is now protecting the most vulnerable kid in school. Well, here's the thing. Jake got suspended for 1 week because another kid was messing with Steven and he pushed him into the wall. The school didn't care that he was sticking up for somebody, but he didn't complain. And when the suspension was over, he kept being buddies with Steven. And that is awesome. It's lunch. One group goes to sit down at their normal spot, but another group's already sitting there. This is our table. We've been sitting here all week. Nobody moves. It's a standoff. That's when somebody from one of the groups says, hey guys, why don't we all just share the table? So they all cram into this one table. Awkward small talk at first. Then somebody from Group A comments, yo, aren't you that guy that cried during the fire drill? It was one time, dude. The alarm was loud. Group A starts laughing. Well, Group B fires back. Well, didn't you fail the easiest history test last semester? At least I didn't pee my pants during prom. Now it's on. Insults are flying. Old drama resurfacing. One kid slaps another guy. Ka! A teacher walks over. Hey, what's going on here? Both groups go silent. Nothing, we're just bonding. Yeah, sure you are. The teacher walks away. For the rest of the lunch, they sit there silent. But the next day, they both sat at that table again, and instead of insults, they were actually telling stories and laughing. So, I don't know. I think they all became friends. Here's what happens when you're a frickin' Karen. This lady's about to board a flight. She storms up to the counter and is waving her phone in the agent's face. Hi, yeah, I paid for priority and that better means something good. Well, the desk agent said, ma'am, yes, this is economy plus, so you'll be boarding in group 2. Just a few minutes, okay? Now, boarding hadn't even begun yet, but this lady loses it. I'm pretty sure I paid for a better plane ticket. You know what? I have so many followers. I'm gonna ruin you for this. This airline sucks. That's fine. Okay. I don't care. Just step back. Now, here's the thing. She threatens that she's gonna make a terrible video about the airline to ruin their reputation or to get this person fired. But no one cared. The thing is, that desk agent was actually gonna upgrade somebody to first class because there was one first class seat open. But now, it definitely wasn't going to be her. Sir. Oh, yeah? What boarding group are you? Now, he's saying this loud enough for the lady to hear. Group 6. Well, it's your lucky day. I'm upgrading you to first class. And ma'am, I'm downgrading you to group 6. Now, this entire time, a bunch of other passengers were watching this thing go down. They were invested. And they cheered. Stop clapping! Screw you! And she threw a fit, and she was thrown out of the airport. Good. So this kid gets paired with the laziest person in class for a group project, and he decides to handle it in the most savage way possible. They're supposed to be splitting the work 50-50. 50-50. So he messages his partner one night, hey, you want to do the research for the slides? The next day he responds, I don't know, you pick what I do. So the guy decides to split it in half. Alright, I emailed you half the slides, send me yours when you're done. Because that sounds fair, but then after that, radio silence. Yo bro, did you finish? Nothing. He tries talking to him during school. Hey dude, gotta go man. The heck? It's the night before the project. Yo man, are you done? Partner responds, yeah, don't worry about it. Presentation day, they're up third, and this guy's got his part ready to go. Clean, put together. He did his research, he's solid. His partner shows up with nothing. Literally nothing. Bro, where's your part? I thought we're just gonna wing it. The teacher calls him up. Okay, let's see what you two have. They stand up and this kid goes first. He goes to his slides. Okay, so we each did half of the work. I'm gonna go first. He presents it flawlessly. He's confident, well-researched, and then he looks to his partner. All right, man, your turn. He freezes. The partner gets up there to try to wing it, and he presses the button to go to the next slide. And all the slide said was, this section was assigned to Carlos. Bro, you didn't do it? You didn't do your part? No. He gets full credit. Yes. You get 0. And the kid sat down, proud of himself, while his partner stood up there completely shocked. The rest of the class just laughed. Yo, that's savage. This is what happens when you get locked in the school bathroom. So he asks to go to the bathroom. He walks down the empty hallway, pushes the bathroom door open, and does his business. But when he's ready to leave... What the heck? The door won't budge. It's like somebody locked it from the outside. He's pushing, pulling, nothing. He checks his phone. Crap, there's no signal in here. Now at this point, he's already been gone 8 minutes. So I guess he does the only logical thing. He looks at the ceiling. Crap. He steps on the sink, he pushes open the ceiling tile, and he army crawls through the drop ceiling. Now he thinks he's going towards the hallway, he hopes so, and right when he thinks he's above the hallway, he lifts the tile open, but he falls right through. There you are. Right there was his teacher and the vice principal. What on earth are you doing? The bathroom door was locked. So you climbed through the ceiling? I mean, I couldn't just stay in there, right? Well, you could have knocked or yelled for help. Also, the bathroom's not locked. Here's what happened. When he got in the bathroom, did his business, he was about to leave. And he tried opening the door, but it wasn't the bathroom door, it was the supply closet door in the bathroom. They looked very similar. But he panicked, didn't look around to see if the actual door is right there, so he climbed through the ceiling. You know what? Just come to my office. You're getting detention. And he got a detention for property damage and making terrible decisions. Have you ever wondered how a middle school science lesson could save an entire building from exploding? This 8th grader named John was sitting in chemistry class learning about natural gas. His teacher explained that rotten egg smell isn't actually natural. They add a chemical called mercaptan so people can detect leaks. Your nose can literally smell it at 1 part per billion. Regardless, John thought this was cool. Hey, that's cool. Well, the very next day, during a science lab in a different science class, he noticed a very faint smell of rotten eggs. He raised his hand and said, "Mr. Stevens, I think there might be a gas leak." Well, the teacher brushed it off and said, "John, that's probably from a different experiment or you're making things up." "No, I'm serious. It smells exactly like what Mr. Zern taught us yesterday." But the teacher told him just to sit down and stop disrupting class, please. So John did something bold. He walked straight to the office and he told the principal, "There's a gas leak in the lab. I'm pretty positive." The principal took him very seriously and he pulled the fire alarm himself and evacuated the entire school. Turns out there was a massive gas leak in the science building. The fire department said that if anybody lit a burner, which they were going to, the whole science wing could have exploded. John literally saved the school because he remembered a lesson from the day before. And yeah, that teacher definitely apologized to him. Big time. That's insane. Everybody liked this one guy. Yo, what's up? Like everybody. He was popular, funny. He was always the center of every single party. So one night, there's this big party at somebody's house, and everybody's there. It's packed, there's music going, people chilling. Yo, this is a killer party, Johnny. Hey, thanks, man. I'm just honored that you're here. But you see, not everybody liked that kid. I hated him. So the kid that did not like him was talking to his friend. "I just don't like the guy. Yeah, I don't like him that much anymore either. Dude, I'm in a group chat with him and look what he's been saying." You see, he gets shown this group chat and the popular kid is in this group chat talking trash about everybody, even his friends, even the girls he's currently hanging out with at the party. "Hey, screenshot these and send me them." Okay. Don't say it was me. So he gets the screenshot, and then he plugs his phone into the HDMI port of the TVs in the living room of this party, and he pulls up all the screenshots. He turns off the music. "Everybody, look!" And he has these screenshots of all the horrible stuff he said just right there on the TV. Wait, what? No. That's not me. People are mad. "No, guys, they're jokes. I'm just joking in these." But it's too late. He had fallen from grace and he was shoved out of that party really quick. The next day he was at school. He went from popular to loser really quick. Hey, that's karma. Here's what happens when you sell fake hall passes for 2 weeks at school. This kid Tyler was running an entire business. He'd been selling hall passes for basically anybody that wanted to skip class. $5 a pop. The passes, they looked legit as well. Official watermark, teacher signatures, the whole deal. Everyone thought he had some kind of connection to the front office. And he wouldn't sell too many at one time because he didn't want the school to get suspicious. So it was a limited supply he would sell per month. Well, this quiet girl named Maya, hi, I'm Maya. She'd been watching this whole thing go down for weeks. She never said anything, she just observed. Well, one day, she sees Tyler drop one of the passes on the ground. So she picks it up, looks at it for a second, and then puts it in her pocket. Now, she wasn't gonna say anything about it. She's like, "This is none of my business, let him do what he's doing." Well, the next day, Tyler tries to sell her a hall pass. "No thanks, I'm okay." But then Tyler starts clowning her in front of the whole class. "You're such a teacher's pet. You too scared to get one of these?" Well, here's what Tyler didn't know. Maya's mom literally works for the school office, and she's the one that designs all official school documents. So Maya knows exactly what a real hall pass looks like, down to the specific font and paper stock. Now, like I said, she wasn't gonna snitch on him, but now she is. She takes the hall pass that she found, goes to the principal, and breaks down everything wrong with it. The font is off, the signature's been traced, and this is the wrong paper. This is basic paper from Staples. Principal takes a few days to investigate, pulls up some security footage, and catches Tyler selling these hall passes multiple times. Tyler got a 2-week suspension, and Maya didn't say a word about it to anybody. Nobody knew she snitched. She just went right back to being quiet. That's why you gotta be careful who you disrespect. Somebody might ruin you. Here's what happens when your coach smashes your phone. This school's basketball coach was pretty intense. All right, huddle up, everybody. Time for team talk. It was one day after practice, and everybody was huddled up by the coach for like a regroup thing. But this kid named Johnny was on his phone. Hey, Johnny, come on, man. This is team huddle. Give me your phone right now. Johnny hands it over, thinking he's just gonna get a lecture. Fine. Coach takes the phone, walks straight into the equipment room, and slams the door. And then everybody hears it. The sound of smashing, cracking, screaming from the coach. Johnny's stomach drops. His phone was brand new. His parents saved up for 3 months to get it for him for his birthday. He's shaking. He's almost crying. The coach walks back out, holding a mangled piece of metal and glass. Here's what happens when you're not paying attention, kid. Johnny notices something immediately. The mangled phone was way too light. He flips it over and realizes it's not even real. It's a dummy phone from the school drama department. Your real phone's in my office. Maybe now you'll lock in during team time, okay? From that day on, Johnny left his phone far away in the locker during practice. Dude, that coach is kind of awesome. Have you ever wondered how some parents can be so cruel? There was this family where the dad had a rule for everything. No phones at the dinner table. No friends over without a 48-hour notice. Bedtime at 9 p.m. sharp, even on weekends, no exceptions. And his teenage daughter had to keep a handwritten log of what she did every single hour of every single day. And if you don't do it, you're in big trouble. Which is completely insane. Well, one day, this girl forgot to log what she did after school, and her dad completely loses his mind. Takes her phone, her laptop, her journals, her books, and her TV, everything she enjoys, and he locks them in the garage. You can have them back when you write me an apology letter. Well, she wrote one. Not good enough, do it again. Then she wrote another one. Not good enough, do it again. She did it like 30 or 40 times before she just gave up. She never gets her stuff back. And the dad doesn't budge. He keeps saying, I told you, write me an acceptable apology and you get it back. But nothing was ever good enough for him. After this girl turned 18, she never spoke to her father ever again. And I think she's way better off. That's messed up. The school store only opened on Fridays. Why is it closed 4 days a week? Budget. Convenience. Whenever somebody asked, they basically just told him to shut up. Well, this kid had a genius idea. He went to Costco, like most of my stories begin, and he bought a bunch of stuff. Everything that the school store sold. But he bought them in bulk, and he brought it to school. And he began running a school store out of his locker every single day. Chips, candy, drinks, the exact same brands as the school. Bro, how do you have all that? Costco. And his locker was in the band hallway, so it was separate from all the regular kids, if you will. And hey, that's not an insult. I was a band kid myself. But he sold these items for cheaper than what the school sold them for. And business immediately began booming. The band hallway was bumping every day. People were lining up, just hanging out around him. He had a very strict discretion rule where keep us in the DL. If you snitch, I'm gonna have my buddy hunt you down and beat you up. And I'll do it too. And he would do it too. But the thing is, nobody snitched. This kid's moving volume. That first week was legendary. Well, Friday hits and the school opens up their store, but nobody's there. There's no line, there's nobody waiting, nothing. The lady running it's like, what is happening? And it stayed like that for a while. Eventually, an investigation was launched and the principal called this kid into the office. You've been running an unauthorized business. No, it's free market competition. You're undercutting school pricing. With respect, sir, you guys were overcharging and I'm providing students with actual affordable value. But you can't sell food on campus. Then why can't the school? Because we have these safe, good brands. I had the same brands bought from Costco. He gave the kid an attention that day, but the kid didn't stop. He kept his business moving. It was this battle between the school and this kid. Eventually, the school got tired of this and they decided to lower the school prices to 10 cents cheaper than the prices this kid was selling at. Well, the kid was happy. I'm retiring. He retires. A freaking hallway legend. He was the guy that made the school lower their prices, and the school even opened up from Wednesday to Friday now. And to that, my friends, I say, you gotta respect the hustle.
কি সুন্দর আপনি এতক্ষণ যে গানটা গাইছিলেন আমাকে গেয়ে শোনাবেন
তুমি শুনবা
হ্যাঁ
তুই এদিকে আয় তুই আসতে পারতাছিস না এদিকে আমি গতকাল রাতে মনে প্রাণে চাইছিলাম যাতে আর্জেন্টিনা জিতুক।
ও
তুমি নাকি তনুকে ঈদ কার্ড দিছো, সেটা নাকি আবার নিজের হাতে বানাইছো। মাঠে চল।
আমি মাঠে যাবো।
মাঠে যাবি না কেন?
মাঠে আসলে যাবো না।
মাঠে চল।
তপু আমি আজকে মাঠে যাবো না, তুই যা। মেয়েটা দেখছিস?
কোন মেয়েটা?
তোদের বাসার দোতলায় আসছে। এদিকে আয়, তুই আয়।
আরে তোমাকে একটা জিনিস দিব।
আপনার গান শুনে ছাদে আসলাম। আপনি গিটার বাজান বলেন নাই তো?
তুমি ভেঙে পড়ছে মায়েরা।
কি?
মাঠে খেলতে আসবি না বিকালে? আসিস দেখা। জানোস যখন তাহলে এত প্রশ্ন করস কেন? এনে চুপচাপ দাঁড়ায় থাক।
আর রূপাকে যে চিঠি লিখছিস সেই চিঠি এখন আব্বার হাতে। আব্বা ঘরে অপেক্ষা করতেছে তোর জন্য। চল আমার সাথে।
একটু পরে ওরা বাইরে হবে।
কারা?
রূপা
রূপা?
কি যে অপরূপ লাগতেছিল।
এত সুন্দর?
হ্যাঁ,
কারেন্ট চলে আসলো, আম্মা এখনই ডাকবে। আমি এখন আসি। আপনার কেমন লাগছে কালকে খেলা?
সুন্দর, খুব সুন্দর।
ঢাকায় লোক কথা বললে যদি একটু ভালো লাগে এই আর কি। আরে মনটা যে কি খারাপ।
খরচ সব মিলে 500 টাকা পড়বে ফিক্সড।
500 টাকা? একটা কার্ডের দাম 500 টাকা? 200 টাকা দিলেই হবে, ঈদের পর দিয়ে দিব।
কি করবে এত টাকা দিয়ে?
একটা।
আমি আর পারবো না, আমার কাছে আর নাই। তোর বাবার কাছে গিয়ে চা।
বাবারে তুমি গিয়ে বলো।
বুঝাতে গিয়ে এটা পেয়েছি। এটা কি?
যে বাচ্চাদের হাতে এর বেশি টাকা দেয়া যাবে না। তাছাড়া তোকে তো কয়েকদিন আগে গিটার কিনে দিল।
আচ্ছা শোন না, মন কি ভালো হয়েছে? গান সুন্দর তোমার।
ও আমি তো আগে গান শিখতাম।
কেমন কেমন?
বোকা বোকা।
দেখ রূপা, আমার ভাইকে নিয়ে একটাও বাজে কথা বলবে না।
আপনাকে আরেকটা কার্ড দেখাই, এ দেখেন। সুন্দর না?
আচ্ছা তোর টাকা লাগবে, তুই আমাকে কেন বললি না?
খুব মনে বলে টাকা দিতি। আমি 330 টাকা ম্যানেজ করছি, আর 170 টাকা ম্যানেজ করতে আমার একদিন সময় লাগবে।
330 টাকা
আমার জন্য একটা এনেন, আমিও 500 টাকা দিব।
নেবেন?
হ্যাঁ
ঠিক আছে।
আমি তোরে বলতে পারি এইরকম মেয়ে আমাদের মহল্লায় নাই। আরে মহল্লা কি,
দেখি সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে আসে নাকি?
ইসলামপুর থেকেই আসে, কিন্তু জিনিসটা তো স্পেশাল এবং খরচও বেশি।
আমি ওদের নিচ থেকে দেখছিলাম, ছাদে আসছিল, বেগুনি রঙের একটা কামিজ পরা।
কাগজ টাগজ দিয়ে এই তোর পড়াশোনা নাই হ্যাঁ?
মা
আরে এটা তো কমন জিনিস, আর্জেন্টিনা হারছে না, ও তো আর্জেন্টিনার সাপোর্টার।
অয়ন ভাই, আমি তো কার্ডটা নিব ভাই, আমি তো বলি নাই আমি নিব না, শুধু আমার টাকাটা এখনো ম্যানেজ হয় নাই।
বিয়ের আগে আমার জন্য কি কি কাণ্ড করেছো, এটা মেয়ের কাছে লুকাতে চাইছো তাই না?
কি রে, কই যাইতেছস?
আরে মহল্লা নাকি একটা নতুন দোকান হয়েছে, ফসল করলে অনেক সুন্দর সুন্দর ঈদ কার্ড পাওয়া যায়।
এর কি করস?
এমনি আসছি আর কি।
আমার দেখো, আমি কিন্তু এখন আর ছোট নাই, আমি বড় হয়েছি, আর সামনে ঈদ। আমার
এবার আমি চিন্তা করছি কি জানো, সবগুলো ঈদ কার্ড নিজের হাতে বানাবো, দোকান থেকে কিনে দেওয়ার চেয়ে নিজের হাতে বানানো ভালো।
তাই নাকি?
কেন আপনি কালকে খেলা দেখেন নাই? কি অবস্থা দেখছেন, যে ফর্ম এই